Hey guys, Mr. Burks here, and today we are going to be looking at how to write a academic essay. This video is going to focus on the purpose of an academic essay and the general structure of it. So today we're going to talk about a structure that's specific for you guys because it's not quite complete in that it doesn't have a complete introductory or conclusion paragraph. But you're gonna be working on those skills next year in this Brunel. So this is gonna give you what you need to know this year, and it's gonna give you what you need to know for MCAS specifically. Okay, so you're gonna see on the screen is the same handout that I gave you. So we're gonna go through it together and make sure you understand what's going on. And yeah, here we go. So a literary essay or an academic essay, what it does is at the very top level, it makes an argument. Okay, a central claim, and it then provides supporting ideas that back up that claim, and then it goes a step further and it validates your supporting ideas with textual evidence, researched, reliable textual evidence. Every academic essay is structured this way. So the biggest idea is that central idea, it's that argument, and the entire essay is dedicated toward trying to prove your point, to prove that argument, to substantiate your claim, okay? Your supporting ideas are the ideas you have that kind of led you to that conclusion, that made you think that that might have been the case. And your textual evidence is what says what I'm saying here is actually valid. It's not an opinion. It's something that's researched, etc. Okay? So this job is always done in body paragraphs, introductory paragraphs, and conclusion paragraphs. For our purposes, we're going to boil that down to a thesis statement in the beginning, 3 body paragraphs, and a thesis statement at the end. I can't stress to you enough how important it is that you have all of the parts that I'm about to talk to you about, and that those paragraphs or thesis statements are made up of the components that I'm going to describe to you. This isn't really a fluid way to do things. It's kind of the way to do it, though your skills will grow as time goes on, and you'll expand, you'll write more than I'm having you write here. This is generally the structure you're going to write in when you're writing an academic essay for the next long time. Okay, so bear with me as we go over here. We're going to talk about why you write it and how you write it. So the why of it is writing an academic essay demonstrates a logical, methodical, evidence-based mode of thought. Okay, this is the way that we should think about all things in our lives, right? We should look to make reasonable claims that are backed up by, real observations and that have evidence to support what we're trying to say. This is just how to do that in writing. It's really methodical, and once you know the parts, it's really doable. The parts that we're going to talk about are thesis statement at the beginning, body paragraphs, and conclusion thesis statements. All right? So let's dive in. The focus for you guys in this activity is to answer this prompt. Of all the Egyptian gods and goddesses, which one was the most significant to ancient Egyptian culture? And you're going to go ahead and provide me reasons for your claim. All right? So in order to answer this question, you're going to have to come up with a claim, you're going to have to come up with some supporting ideas, and you're going to have some researched evidence. The great news is that you guys have already answered this question with Mr. Dillon, and it's likely that you've already got a lot of research done on this topic from doing your foldable or for even preparing for your test. So let's think about the structure now of our essay, and then we'll dive into the individual parts. So the first thing we're going to have in our essay is a thesis statement. This is your entire paper, your entire essay in a nutshell. It's where you tell your reader what your claim is, so what is your central argument, and what your supporting ideas are. And the structure kind of is going to look like this. You're going to say, of all the Egyptian gods and goddesses, and you're going to write your god right in here. This is going to be the god that you've selected, right? Of all the Egyptian gods and goddesses, Ra was the most significant to Egyptian culture because, and you're going to have a first reason, a second reason, and your most important reason, third. So you're going to have 3 reasons why this is the case, okay? So now, after reading your thesis statement, your reader knows what your central idea is and what 3 reasons you have to back up your argument. The cool thing is that, you know, you're going to be writing an individual body paragraph about each one of these 3 reasons, and you're going to be showing me how these reasons connect to your central idea. The order of these reasons is going to inform the order of your body paragraphs. So your first body paragraph is about your first reason, your second body paragraph is about your second reason, and your third body paragraph is about your third reason. Okay? So that's our thesis statement. If you get the thesis statement, you're right there, guys. I mean, once you know what you're arguing, what your reasons are, you've already made significant progress. So though you may look at this and you say, oh, well, I wrote one sentence, Mr. Burks. You know, I've got 3 whole paragraphs left to write. Yeah, but you already have the roadmap, right? So really important. So let's look at what body paragraph 1 is going to look like, okay? So body paragraph 1 is where you're going to explain how your first reason or your supporting idea, I'll call them both, connects to your claim, right, which is your central argument, and where you provide textual evidence. That's researched textual evidence. So for this assignment, you guys are going to go ahead and use the Encyclopedia Britannica or the British Museum. You're going to provide textual evidence which demonstrates your supporting idea, right? It's going to say, hey, I've got this idea of why this argument's valid, and look, my idea is actually real, okay? Someone has said something about it as well. So this is kind of going to be what it looks like. You're going to say, the first reason why the god you've selected was the most significant to Egyptian culture, notice that this is a restatement of your claim, is because whatever your first reason is. All right, now the job is going to be to offer evidence for your first reason, to explain how that evidence supports your first reason, and then to explain how that reason goes all the way back up to your central idea. So the way to think of this, the way I kind of think about it is like an hourglass. So at the very top of your essay, you've got this big statement, okay? This is your central idea. It's everything ties back to it. And then you get a little bit more specific when you come into your supporting ideas. They're connected to your central idea, to your main idea, but they're a little bit more specific. It's one specific reason. And then you've got even more specific, your textual evidence, which backs up your supporting ideas specifically. Your job in the body paragraph is to present all of this stuff and then to explain how that textual evidence backs up your supporting idea, and then how the supporting idea backs up your central idea. So it kind of looks like a little triangle. All right, so let's look. The first reason why the god you've selected was the most significant to ancient Egyptian culture was because, and you'll talk about your first reason. Now you're going to give your first example of why this is the case. So you're going to provide a piece of textual evidence which demonstrates your first reason. After this, you're going to have a sentence which explains how your quote or paraphrase, in this case we're going to do a direct quote, demonstrates your first reason. This how is important, guys. Don't take anything for granted. I'm not in your brains. I don't know what your thinking is. You have to explain it to me, okay? So you might start the sentence with this shows or this illustrates, and you're going to tell me exactly why you thought that quote backed up your supporting idea. Then you're going to go even higher. You're going to think even bigger, and you're going to explain how this example. And what I mean by example here is your first reason along with this piece of evidence, right? So these two things together, this is an example, how that fits your claim. So you might say this example, which in this case is your textual evidence and your specific supporting idea, fits my claim that the god that you select was the most important to Egyptian culture because, all right? And you're going to explain that. Then you're going to say, in addition to this, and you're going to give me another piece of textual evidence which demonstrates this first reason. All right. So you're going to have this great piece of evidence that says, yeah, my reason's real. It's valid. Look, it's researched. It's really well thought out. You're going to back that up even further by another piece of textual evidence. You're then going to explain how that specific quote demonstrates your first reason. And you're going to explain how this example, and it's going to be different because you have a different piece of textual evidence, backs up your claim. All right. You're then going to have a conclusion sentence which wraps everything up. You're going to say the god you've selected, so Ra or whatever, was the most significant to ancient Egyptian culture because, and you're going to restate your first reason or your supporting idea. All right? So this is a total of 8 sentences, right? You restate your supporting idea and how it connects to your main idea. You have a sentence that gives a piece of evidence, a sentence that explains how the evidence backs up your first reason, a sentence which explains how both of those things, your example, fits into your claim, 3 more sentences with another piece of evidence, another explanation how it supports or backs up your supporting idea, and another sentence which brings it back up to your claim, and then you're going to have one more sentence that goes ahead and wraps it all up. So you've got 6 sentences here, and you've got one at the beginning and one at the end. All right? Now, a lot to remember, right? But this is actually all you really have to know. Because in a 5-paragraph essay, you write an introductory paragraph, 3 body paragraphs, and then a conclusion paragraph. But you guys, you're just writing a thesis statement, an introductory thesis statement, which we talked about, 3 body paragraphs, and then a concluding thesis statement. So at this point, you have all the information I need to give you as far as structure goes, all right? Because if we look down here, body paragraphs 2 and 3 are structured in exactly the same way. They just focus on your second and third reasons or supporting ideas respectively. So your second body paragraph talks about your second reason. It gives a piece of textual evidence that backs up the second reason. It explains how the textual evidence demonstrates your supporting idea. It explains how that example backs up your claim, and you do it with another piece of textual evidence for your second reason. And then you go ahead and do it again for your third body paragraph. The only thing that really changes here are your transition phrases. Another reason why versus the first reason why, okay? One thing to keep in mind, guys, is it's often a good idea to keep your most powerful supporting idea for your third body paragraph because it's like the last thing your reader reads and it really leaves them, you want to leave them with the most powerful reasoning for your example, okay? We then end, so we're going to have our thesis statement, 3 body paragraphs that have focused on 3 different supporting ideas, and each include 2 unique pieces of textual evidence, followed up by a conclusion thesis statement. Here you're going to summarize your ideas by rephrasing your claim and your supporting ideas, all right? You're going to try to communicate the same information without using the exact same language. That's why it's rephrase your thesis statement. So think about, how do I talk about what my claim was and what my supporting ideas were without just saying the exact same thing, okay? Now look, this is not a place where you want to spin your wheels, right? In our class, you're going to have plenty of time to craft this thing. If you guys are going ahead and taking MCAS and, the clock's ticking, which it won't be because you have all day to take it, but, if you just have a restated thesis statement, you're in great shape, okay? So that is the last bit. So in this video, we covered what the assignment was, the purpose of an academic essay, and the structure of the ones you guys are going to be writing, which include a thesis statement that introduces your claim and your supporting ideas, and 3 body paragraphs which explore how those individual supporting ideas back up your claim and which provide evidence for those supporting ideas. In the next video, we're going to go ahead and take a look at the teacher exemplar. So stay tuned.